All right, guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. Going to be getting into the round 1 reaction and the round 2 showdown picks here for the American Express. Now, first, let's just start off. I mean, this is going kind of exactly how we thought it would, in which we thought it'd be a highly random week. And there's a lot of reasons that go into that. We discussed that already. Just real quickly, though, easy scoring event leads to higher variance. 3 courses leads to more higher variance. Start of the season, don't know like what form players are really in. Do they switch to new courses? Are they trying a new swing? And then factor on the fact that we have a pro-am as well. So how it started off is like the players that are doing poorly all went off on the stadium course, which I find very interesting. So pretty much if they didn't play on the stadium course, they're doing well. Minus Jonathan Vegas, who had a good back nine, kind of brought it back. So he might be, in play still. But really other than that, the players that went off on the stadium course might have shot themselves out of the tournament, which hopefully not. We'll see. I'll pull them up here on the Showdown page and you guys can decide for yourself. But really just interesting stuff ownership wise. And I think that's the first thing I want to pull up is talk about the ownership. So this is the player pool that I end up on, and I'll just start with this, I guess. So for me, I really hope that this isn't the difference because I feel like I nailed this week in terms of, hey, it's going to be random. Going to want to spread it out. If you're just like dialing in on 2 players, Rom, Patrick Cantlay, do that and figure it out from there. If you're not doing that, go Taylor Gooch. But what I hope that this isn't the difference. So like I ranked this in order. So like I hope being on Taylor Gooch over Seamus Power isn't the difference. And I hope being on Michael Thompson over KH Lee is not the difference because obviously Power and KH Lee are doing really well. And KH Lee did this on the stadium course. So, if that little fine ranking decides like a huge week or just like an okay week, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. But other than that, doing pretty well. So the one thing I want to mention is Matthew Wolff's ownership because he ended up being the 3rd highest owned player on the slate, which I thought was extremely shocking, as well as Corey Connors. So like both those players, both extremely shocking. Now, yes, Corey Connors, you're just kind of playing because you thought he might make the cut. Didn't have the best course history though, and that's kind of why I knocked him. And then Matthew Wolff, you're only playing for upside. And that kind of echoes what the DFS community has been doing a lot recently. They don't care about the risk at all, just going all reward. And that's what happened with Matthew Wolff this week. He ended up, let's just pull him up here. Let's see. Ended up being 25% owned. It depends on what slate you're on, obviously, but 20%, 25%, depends on what slate you're on. But that was really shocking to me. I mean, the fact that people are just like, I don't care about a potential miscut, chasing that upside, that's weird. And I guess it's because people got away with it last week with Russell Henley, kind of a high risk, high reward type of play. Henley's obviously been playing better golf. So that, I don't know, that was just interesting to me. And then Michael Thompson, yeah, I did like him as well. Sucks that KH Lee's doing well, like I touched on. Corey Connors was a little bit surprising to me. Abraham Answer as well, kind of surprising to me as well. Luke List, a little bit higher owned than I thought he would be as well. So the advantages that we have with like the strong player pool are looking pretty good. So hopefully that pays off this week. You got some good GPPs going. But it's the start of the week. We really don't know anything about the tournament. Okay. Some players went off of the hardest course and some players went off of the easiest course. We won't really know what the tournament's like until really on Saturday after everyone's done with their round 3. So with that, let's get into the round 2 showdown. So the round 1 showdown was pretty easy. You knew that you wanted to be on the players on the La Quinta course. So that's what you're going to want to do again today for round 2. So really what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find the players that have the La Quinta tee times and then just find out who are the best plays from there. So like, hey, this guy's ranking out well. He plays off La Quinta. Let's put him into the lineup builder or put him into your lineup and you're good to go. It's kind of as simple as that. I know a lot of people had good round 1 showdowns by doing that. Freaking, all right. So Davis Riley bogeyed 18, which cost me a top 5 finish. But at the same time, Cameron Young, who I had as an outright bet in 3rd place right now, -8. I mean, I'm giving myself a pat on the back. Yes, he went off of the easiest course, and heck, he might not even make the cut with it being 3 rounds, but pat on the back there, that was pretty good. Another pat on the back for me real quick before we get into it. I'm going to pull it up. Let's get into the betting sheet, and then we'll get into the picture. I'm sorry. So I implemented this betting tool this is the third week now that I've had it live since the Century Tournament Champions. All right, it's kind of cut off here a little bit, but you can kind of see it here. So let's scroll down. So some of the players weren't even expected to have the first round lead, so we didn't include them. So from there, we nailed it. Patrick Cantlay, first round leader, ranked number 1, ended up with the first round lead, tied with Lee Hodges. Another one I want to point out is Seamus Power. Seamus Power had the first round lead on the Nicklaus Tournament course. Okay, pretty good there. I mean, that's pretty good. That's hard to do. So, really, Sanjay M and Seamus Power went off at the Nicklaus Tournament course. So the second best pick, I guess, for the Nicklaus Tournament course, end up with the lead. And then Patrick Cantlay, the top pick, ended up with the lead as well. So, pretty good stuff there. I'm curious. Cage Lee, he's down there, but 29th most likely. So, he had the stadium course one as well. So just good stuff there. Something to track because, like I said, that's the third straight week in which we've had a player top 10 in the first round leader rank have the lead. So that's pretty cool to see. Something you guys can bet in the future. But let's get into it. So cut sweats real quick. So cut sweats, we got Sanjay M, really chalky. Looks like he's going to be a big cut sweat for people. Luke List, Abram Answer. These are some of the biggest cut sweats right now. Okay. Let's see if they're likely to make the cut or not here. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But just something fun to look at. Let's look at the current 6 for 6, about 4% for 6 for 6. I think that number could go down as well, but it's definitely not going to go up with Matthew Wolff, Taylor Gooch really doing poorly. And then 5 out of 5 or 5 out of 6, which is really interesting to me because if you had just played Patrick Cantlay and John Rahm, you're probably sitting at this 5 out of 6 number, and you're sitting pretty good because obviously those two guys went out and played well in round 1. So definitely interesting there. Just let's look at cash cut sweat as well, see if that's any different. Slightly different, a little bit more 5 out of 6 and a little bit more 6 out of 6. So a little bit more fair and balanced, I think, is what people went with there. But just kind of interesting stuff there for this. A little bit of cut sweat with Abram Answer, Luke List, Hayden Buckley. So just fun stuff there. But let's get into what you guys came here for, the round 2 showdown picks. All right, so as you guys know, or for those of you guys that don't know, regression, I just had to put it this way, okay? Some people get triggered by this. It's regressing back to their norm. So if you were to put it on a scale, is it going to be a positive regression or negative regression? That's what this is. And that's for lack of a better term. This is pretty much who is most likely to play better in round 2. And this is round specific data, okay? And that's kind of the separation points. That's round specific data. We can see Matthew Wolff most likely to have a better round, which makes sense. He was expected to play well. Like I said, I thought he was a little bit overowned for kind of what player he is. But still, played horrible. No surprise there that he's expected to play better. Same thing for Michael Thompson. Was someone that had been playing well, was expected to play well, didn't. And this is kind of how you look at it this week. And for the purposes, or for our showdown purposes, it doesn't really tell us that much this week with it being a low scoring event and with a lot of really high end players that are expected to do well, not doing well. So you guys can use this if you want. I'm not going to take too much out of it. Okay. The end all be all is going to be the ranking, the round 2 ranking. And this is going to be the showdown rank, which directly affects the fantasy projected points scored for round 2. But once again, we're going to want to chase players that have that La Quinta tee time. Okay. So let's just go through it. Let's look through some popular names that might be popping up. So this is La Quinta Country Club. And really why we're doing this is because we're just chasing the best situation. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain this. I don't want to say blackjack, but like in blackjack, that's a dumb analogy. It's like, I don't know, like in blackjack, like let's say you have, I guess that ace. Yeah, you're showing an ace. The dealer has a bust card, and you want to double down, hoping for. That's not right. You have 11, and you want to double down to try to get 21, and the dealer's showing a bust card. Like it's more likely that you're going to win that one. Okay, that's kind of what this is because you're approaching it in a sense that this is just more likely course in which is going to produce low scores. Now, the Nicklaus Tournament course and the Stadium course can both produce low scores as well, but all in all, this is going to be the one that's most predictable, and that's really all DFS golf is trying to chase something that's the most predictable. So let's look at it. I'm just trying to get a gear for which names are popping up. So Michael Thompson might be someone, Charles Howell, Taylor Gooch. So I do want to mention this. I put this on my Twitter. It really did seem like Taylor Gooch and Charles Howell were bothered by the people that they were playing with, the Pro-Ams. And for Taylor Gooch, it might just be the fact that he was playing poorly, and then on top of that, he's playing with these random strangers. But I don't know if you guys saw the clip. Charles Howell had a sand bunker shot, and one of the Pro-Ams were hitting a golf ball during it. I'm like, are you kidding me? This can't be happening in a pro tournament. I get it, it's a Pro-Am, but like, this is a professional golf event. Like, you can't be doing that. Could you imagine if a random fan walked onto a soccer event and literally kicked the ball at the goal and it counted? Like, it didn't affect the tournament at all. That's weird. And not only that, this ball almost hit Charles Howell. I'm like, that would be something that would be hard to play with. You know, we don't know if that affected them at all. It kind of seems like it did, because Charles Howell had kind of things rolling for a majority of the front nine, long tournament pace. And, you know, maybe that affected them. Okay. It kind of seemed like that with Taylor Gooch. You know, most of the time I'd be like automatic with someone like Taylor Gooch, where they struggled in round one. They were expected to play well, and, you know, they didn't. So, you know, he ranks out. See how he ranks out here. Just curious, just trying to pull it up here. All right. So he actually doesn't rank out that well for round two Showdown. Why? Probably because he didn't play that well in round two. That's a little shocking. 30th overall round two pick. That's a little bit shocking to me. Very interesting there. Very interesting there to me. And obviously doesn't have any win ranks or anything or any data past round two, because, well, this is set up for a cut to be made at, you know, round two. Interesting there. Only 30th. I thought he'd be higher than that. That's very interesting. So he played like so poorly that he's not expected to play well, is essentially what that is. So interesting stuff there. I don't know. I could see it. You know, he's expected to play better. Not going to be that much harder for him to play better. But that's just something interesting there. I thought he'd be a really good pick for round two. Obviously, he gets the La Quinta course, the course you want to be targeting. But let's see. Anyone else popping up there? Maybe Charles Howell. Charles Howell could be someone you use. He has the La Quinta tee time. But I'd be perfectly fine going with John Rahm, like someone that has the Nicklaus Tournament course as well. I don't think we have to go directly with La Quinta like we did in round one, because round one was super set up for an easy lineup path. You know, it's pretty much John Rahm, Patrick Cantlay, and figure out some of the value plays like, you know, Cameron Young, Davis Riley, Taylor Moore. You know, it was kind of set up. It was like the perfect setup for round one Showdown. But let's just go through this, keep going through it. See if there's any names popping up. Cameron Hickok, Justin Hadley. Gosh. Paige Lee. I'm wondering about that. You know, obviously rated out well in the player pool, but very interesting play there. See, that's the problem. Like, there's not that many players that you would naturally want to go out of your way to play out of this group, other than the top end guys that kind of struggled. That's tough. It's a tougher slate, that's for sure. Man, that's tough, because obviously we don't want to play players that have the La Quinta tee time or the stadium course tee time. You know what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go through. I'm going to look at the tee times on my other screen here. I'm just going to put all the players in here that have the La Quinta tee time. I'm just going to type them in so we can see them. Okay, so we got all the players in there for the La Quinta course. Okay, as we can see, no one really is ranking out as a good pick. So we got Charles Howell, Henrik Norlander, Matthew Wolff, Michael Thompson, Taylor Gooch, KH Lee, Wesley Bryan. Like, this doesn't exactly get me excited for round two Showdown. And after having a decent round 1 and a decent main slate going, I might not play round 2 Showdown as much as I typically do. Just mostly for the fact that the players that we would typically target to play better, that are in like a perfect situation, they're really not ranking out that well. And that's due to the fact that they pretty much played so poorly that they're not expected to play better. There is kind of a fine line between the data when it says, this guy just had a bad round, or this guy might just be having a bad tournament. This is tough because obviously we want to target the La Quinta course. I mean, Matthew Wolff and Taylor Gooch just seem so checked out of it. Michael Thompson with he had 3 double bogeys. I mean, they definitely could all get back into the tournament by having a low one. And I don't think it's out of the question for Wolff or Gooch, especially Gooch, who, man, didn't make any putts, couldn't make any fairways, couldn't hit any greens. Like, I do expect him to play better. It's just mentally, where is he going to be at? That's really tough. I do think like KH Lee, is he going to do -7 again? Probably not, but he is playing on an easier course. It's tough. It's very tough there. All in all, I probably will put out some builds with just the La Quinta course, but it's not going to be 100% like it was in round 1. It's definitely not, but I am still going to fade the stadium course, and I might just roll out a lot of the players that were on the La Quinta course. I might just be rolling out those players a lot in round 2 Showdown because I don't like this list that much. And that's just, I think that's a sign for us not to really play round 2 Showdown all too much, because we know which tournament to be attacking, but at the same time, the players aren't popping up that much because it's kind of ugly. Okay. I apologize. I wish I could give you guys more information here. That's just the nature of the beast sometimes, but let's just go over it one more time here real quick. So all in all, without looking at the specific course details, which I think you have to do, here's are the players that would be popping up. Sungjae Im. And I want to touch on Sungjae Im here as well, because last week, the commentators during the broadcast, they mentioned that it looked like Sungjae Im had changed kind of the tempo in his swing, and it does seem to be affecting him. He missed the cut last week, only -3 today, which not too bad. He's a player that I think could play well. I'm not sure which. I think he's going off of the stadium course, though, so that obviously worries me. Scotty Scheffler, probably the same thing. A little bit worrisome there, but he's a guy that can go low. Justin Rose. Justin Rose is an interesting one. Let me see which course he's going off of. I had that pulled up here on a different sheet. Out of curiosity. So Justin Rose, 10:30 tee time. Yeah, we don't want the stadium course. Oh, geez, man. All the good picks. I swear. Yeah. This is a tough round 2 Showdown. So I hate to say, it is what it is, but it kind of is what it is, unfortunately. Like John Rahm, I think I'm just going to play. He had an okay round 1. I think I'm just going to play John Rahm, regardless of price. Probably Norlander, probably Charles Howell. And it gets ugly from there. It really does. Gosh. Tough slate. I wish I could give you guys more. That's just the nature of the beast this week. So let's hope that some of the outright bets come through for us. Got Seamus Power going. I kind of urge Patrick Cantlay and John Rahm a lot, even though I personally said, I'm not going to bet that. That's more of a fun thing. So you might have those bets going live. So if you do, good luck. Could have Cameron Young. I think, I don't know. I'm kind of patting myself on the back for that one. That was a deep dive fine. 250 to 1 to start the week. Now he's already down to 40 to 1. That'd be awesome. Especially after missing out on Troy Merritt and Roger Salone last year for like 150 to 1 bets. It'd be pretty awesome to get this one, but probably won't. I mean, it's most likely going to be Patrick Cantlay. He should win. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Win ranks. And then we'll be getting out of here. So this is just looking at round 2. Okay. So I would still say Patrick Cantlay is most likely to win. Okay. So this is where I kind of disagree with it a little bit. But after that, it's pretty much on point. You know, I'd flip Patrick Cantlay and John Rahm. Then it's Seamus Power, Cage Lee, Bazoon Howard, Abraham Ancer, expected to go low. Tom Hoagie, Cameron Young. I mean, that's crazy, guys. He didn't rank out all too well, but he's still the 8th most likely to win. Then we got Taylor Moore and then Russell Henley. That is insanely good. That is surprising. And I think we could actually use the round 3 ranking because, well, we have another week in which there's a cut, and then it shifts it a little bit, puts a little bit more of an emphasis on their current score. So it'd be then Patrick Cantlay, John Rahm, Seamus Power, Cage Lee. And once again, I always focus on the current round, but with this one being a little bit more unique of an event in which players are going to get an extra round, that's kind of why I'm saying maybe look at this for win rank. Definitely interesting stuff there. I mean, this one is tough. It's just tough to know exactly where we're at in the tournament right now, like we typically would. You know, round 2 is typically the easiest round to predict stuff, and it's just not this week. It's kind of more things are up in the air right now. So I don't know, just interested there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I actually I enjoyed it because, well, you know, some of the fun of DFS is like not knowing something and just kind of the nature of that. And the way I've set everything up lately, it's like it kind of takes the fun out of it because like we know who the top picks are. We know who's like expected to do well with the round 1, first round leader bets, like stuff like that. Them always producing. It's like, this is kind of fun because, well, there's some unknown factor. So it's kind of a fun week. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing. Oh, if you guys want to join 9 to 5 Nation, one-stop shop in PGA DFS, the best value, $10 a month, link in the description below. All right, thanks for watching. As always, let's keep cashing.